This aspect of dying is also the aspect of the transition through the channel that to your arrival is characterized and experienced as creation. I will say that again. Your surrender to this death spiral takes you through a channel, a bridge, a tunnel. Upon your arrival into your awareness of acceptance, there is the experience of creation. Understand what this means. Creation occurs upon your arrival. And you have gone through the tunnel of death. When you awaken through that process, you are one with this creation. It is not linearity that you seek. It is beyondedness that you attain. The linearity was the desire. Your desire to go from a lesser to a greater. Your desire to go from small to great, to large. From poor to rich. From unawakened to awake. You have this desire to ascend. To get more and more, better and better. Some trackable way, some measurable way that says I am now more enlightened than I was before. Or I'm more awake than this other person over there. That's the desire. And then we begin the dying. And we die through these processes. We arrive into creation. When we arrive into creation, linearity still exists. Only it is only just simply one of infinite progressions. So what you thought was your way of arriving at the most enlightened space is only one of infinite flows. Now this may be a little much, a little wild, a little incoherent for you at this moment. Part of that is your own logical mind trying to keep track linearly. You want something to be said here for it to make sense here, to here, to here, to here. So then you can say, and therefore in conclusion, logic and reason and deductive thinking, all of this makes sense. Life is that way, isn't it? You're supposed to be born and you're supposed to live and then you're supposed to die and it's supposed to be done. And so with all of this desire, all of this desire for linear realization, we die this desire. And even as such, it remains present. That which dies remains present. I'm supposed to tell a little bit of the story of what has happened over the past year. First, those of you who've known Rico from times before, and especially if you've been coming to classes over this last 2 years, there have been many progressions. There's been lots of phases and stages. Last December, in meditation, came realizations that this would be the last year for this body to be active in this field, what you call being alive. So it was a vision, it was a premonition, it was a knowing that this would be the final year, and that come October that this body would be done. For convenience sake, I'll use the word I, though some of you realize and know that it's kind of an inaccuracy. But let's just say I means whatever is happening inside of here with this, okay? I began the process of preparation for moving on beyond this realm. I was told that it would begin in earnest in October, and between October and December of this year, there would be many transitions. Between December and January, there were four separate revelations, realizations, messages that were given. There were assignments that were being given. People not quite knowing how to deal with a lot of this stuff. And some people, best way for them to deal with it was just to step away. Others, the best way for them to deal with it was to get self-righteous, use this as a framework of insanity, use it as a framework of demonism, or whatever. But they also use it as a framework of reference to themselves as to where they were and what they were choosing and how to look at the world that they live in, how to look at themselves. All along, many of you got a chance to witness thousands, tens of thousands of spirit beings occupying this biomatrix here. For some of you that is a little too scary. Some of you that was fascinating as long as it was entertaining. And you still felt reasonably safe that you weren't talking to Satan, or you weren't being pulled yourself into something beyond what you felt you really wanted to experience. Whether it was something you could witness and still feel safe in the witnessing, something that you could learn from and maybe test out in your own realities to varying degrees, or something that you could see as having transcended limits that you knew were not for you to transcend in your lifetime. That's okay. All of that was okay. If there was a whole lot of Rico left, it would have been heartbroken for him to lose so many loved ones, so many friends, to lose so much respect. Of course, he dealt with the respect issue a long time ago, so that wasn't so much the issue, but nonetheless, to lose access to so many who chose to distance themselves from what they had come to experience and understand. That was his journey. What was happening inside was further progression of consciousness and awareness. The dissolution of the self-construct lends itself to what is a fluid field of access. And that fluid field of access, there comes a time there is a dissolution even of the who am I that's witnessing all of this that is happening to me. That dissolves. As that dissolves, there is this process called witnessing. Witnessing loses self-reference in what can be called its higher states of attainment, until attainment itself loses reference. And when that happens, there is simply this gateway to realization. What is realization? Realization is formless, dimensionless, and yet that which gives onto all that which forms. All concepts, all constructs, all materiality, all dimensionality that we understand as we, having experience, all of this derives from realization itself. Realization, which is source realization. It is what gives even the light onto sentience itself, the sentience of awareness. It is what gives the existence to that which is called love, primal love. That which brings form, that which calls itself form. All that comes into beingness, more so than just that which we identify in this four-dimensional mode of space-time, and that which we identify as this material realm. Much, much, much more than that does this realization come and flow into being, such that there is the attainment of a state of realization which is simply best put as realization itself. So this is what was happening. Difficult to explain to someone who is caught still within the self-reference of this is me and this is my name and I go to work and I go and I live in this family and etc., etc. All of these kinds of everyday human experience references. So you have some person who's talking about they're dissolving, they're going into the disaggregated, formless, dimensionless state of pure realization. What is this to mean? Mm-hmm. Some of the students petitioned to the Cosmic Masters that there not be this transition completed this year, that the EnRico would stay There's more work to be done. There's more need for him to be here. More teaching, more healing work, more service. And for some, it was just simply they were not prepared to allow, emotionally, to allow that disconnection.